Pakistan cricket at its best. 1 minute down, next minute up.
Thanks for joining me once again, folks. I've got alongside me here at Old Trafford today as Lancashire play Birmingham Bears. I've got the one and only David Bumble Lloyd, obviously commentator, familiar face to everybody around the world, former umpire, captain, coach.
I need to be groundsman. I have done groundsman, and I really like that.
That's next, Bumble.
That's next, and I like just rolling. I like sitting and reflecting on a roller. Anyway, World Cup.
First and foremost, I want to speak about this gentleman who I think is on the England selectors' radar once again. Fresh from his 89 not out, Bumble.
Yeah, do you know, everybody's saying it's 88, it were 89, I got a single off the last
Every run counts.
It does, every run counts, averages. 89. I should have got 100, and I just didn't get the strike last 2 overs. But Staffordshire were better. They knocked them off pretty easily. We didn't bowl very well. But Staffordshire, over 70s, and it was quite competitive. You know, you could tell that the lads had played, and they were living the dream. You know, you're living the dream. Your memory's telling you what you should be doing, and you do it a bit slower. Yeah.
Knees, hamstrings.
No, hamstring twanged, it went. But everything else all right. I got into the zone. When I got out there, you're getting into box clever, get a single. Yeah. You get used to the light, pace of the pitch, the bowlers, so you just get into a bit of a zone.
T20 World Cup, Bumble. I think first thing I want to talk about is the fact that it's in United States and the Caribbean. I think that's good for the game, isn't it? The fact that it's out there in America.
It is absolutely super for growth of the game and awareness. There's always a but in any sort of but. Now, you know Jared Kimber. I work a bit with Jared Kimber. And he's watching all the stuff, everything. He says the wickets aren't fit for purpose in New York.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
He said in Dallas they're fine. Yeah. He said New York, he said that's just not acceptable. Now, I've not seen too much, but I'm relying on what he says, that the outfield, the ball is rolling and stopping, and the pitch are a lottery. So if you're a player and you get on a pitch and you assess it and you've got some sort of game plan, it's you and him at the other end, or you and her, whoever it is. But if the pitch is up, down, rolling up, you've no game plan.
Dropping pitches, isn't it? It's a bit of a gamble.
It's a dropping pitch, and dropping pitches work. I mean, they certainly work in New Zealand. You go to New Zealand, the pitch for a long game starts damp, starts a bit green, and at the end of it, all the moisture has been sucked out of it. It's changed colour, it's straw, and your spinners have come into it. So these pitches have been transported from Adelaide. Crikey, they've got to have some maintenance because they're only, about a foot deep or whatever they are. So your moisture will always be coming out. And how you put moisture back in when you've dropped it in, and then keep it rolled, keep it flat. It's a good exercise, and it'll be taxing the ground staff.
The format, Bumble, 20 teams, 4 groups of 5, top 2, then Super 8s. It's a 1-month tournament. What do you think of the format?
I'm all right with the format, just anything that when you come to a World Cup situation, you're growing the game, and more teams the merrier. And it's good for the lesser teams that you can showcase what you can do. Great pity that rained off game, England and Scotland. That's Scotland's World Cup final, by the way. That's
they could have won that, couldn't they?
They 90 for none after 10 overs. Yeah. England and everybody connected, Archer, Wood, we're going to get 90 off 10 overs, Scotland. And then the rains came. So that's another debate. It's the hurricane season and the rainy season in the Caribbean. So, that's a little bit different. And then USA beat Pakistan. Continue.
We'll come to that, Bumble.
I knew what you wanted to talk to me about. I knew.
Well, I was going to say that it's early in the tournament so far. Not all the teams have played many games, but any teams caught your eye? I mean, India obviously look very strong, don't they?
They will. I mean, it's in its infancy, so it'll settle down. So India are going to be a powerhouse. England play Australia next. Is that a bit early for both teams because they haven't had much of a go so far? But You know, it's England, Australia, so, you know, it should be full on. And they'll be big players. The team I fancy is South Africa. They've had a so-so start, a bit indifferent, but I think they've got the team. I think they have a lot of firepower in the team. It's whether they can box clever and think about the surfaces that they're playing on, how to play on different sorts of pitches.
Quite a few match winners in there, haven't they?
You've got to have game changers and match winners, and you need an attack. You know, I think they've got a good attack. So, you know, I'll be watching closely for them. Can they turn that on paper? They've got aim and aim and aim and aim and aim, and play on that pitch and think about that pitch and sort of, you know, what they always say is you've got to think on your feet and adapt to that situation. It's whether they can do that. But of course, that is for all the teams. Yeah. And the one team we ain't mentioned, you know, we never do, New Zealand.
They're always there or thereabouts.
Always roundabout, always be there.
Yeah.
Right, go on.
USA have won 2 out of 2. We'll come to the Pakistan game shortly, but for cricket to develop and, you know, get well known in America, it needs the home team to do well, and they've won 2 out of 2 games, so that's a good start for them, isn't it?
Well, you know, if you say United States of America, by definition, winners, they like to win, and they like to champion winners. So if your team starts off 2 out of 2, there's going to be real awareness. And of course, the governing body, the ICC, for years and years, have been trying to crack America. Can we get into America? And it's a golden ticket if you do. So then you think that if this goes well, how will the game sort of push on in America? And it'll push on with a massive broadcast deal. You get a big broadcast deal, there's awareness, and then you get people intrigued about the game. You know, there's all sorts of sports in America. You've got ice hockey, you've got baseball, you've got NFL, you've got all sorts of stuff. Can cricket compete with those? And so it'll do them a world of good if they keep winning.
I didn't think I'd be sat here saying to you, Pakistan have just lost to USA. To me, I woke up this morning, I was hoping it was a bad dream, but unfortunately it wasn't. How do you come back from that, Bumble? And you obviously saw some of the game, I'm sure.
You know, they're getting left behind. You know, wicket keeper, you know, is he the best wicket keeper to play T20 cricket? Babar Azam has come out in the media and said, we didn't take advantage of the first 6 overs. Yeah. Basic, that's the power play.
But he's there in those first 6 overs himself, Bumble, isn't he?
Occupying too many deliveries and not enough big shots. We didn't bowl well enough in the first 6 overs. Spinner didn't do the job. You know, there's a lot to take in there. And, you know, all I'd say is look, they've just been left behind. You've got to unleash yourself in T20 cricket. But be aware that it's a lot of deliveries, 120. So I come back to you, have they got the right players?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, people are surprised that Azam Khan's there. There's 1 or 2 other questionable decisions as well in the squad. Obviously, Imad Wasim, key player, he was missing, he was injured. And then, you know, you look at the super over, I thought Naseem Shah was the best bowler on the day for Pakistan. I thought he might have got the super over. And then you've got Fakhar Zaman, who's been sent in to bat in the super over for Pakistan, didn't face a ball. So you've got to look at the tactics, and I think Gary Carson's got a lot of work to do.
That's an absolute nightmare. And then, you know, just in the scenes at the back of it all, the USA, who's the coach? It's Stuart Law. Yes. You know, he's vastly experienced, and he's been around the block, Stuart. Now, I know Stuart pretty well.
He was here at Lancashire, wasn't he?
He was, yes. And, you know, he's got it up here, and he's done it. And he'll have got that team right. He'll have prepared that team, and they went into it. And again, they would say, this is a banana skin. We can get right into these. We can get into Pakistan. And they've done just that. So their preparation, I would suggest, was miles better than for Pakistan, listening to what Babar Azam had to say.
Well, they didn't play any matches out in America. They've gone straight from England out there.
Yeah, and in England there were 2 rained off or whatever, a complete non-event.
Yeah.
And so, you know...
And the next one, Bumble, is a nice easy match against India for Pakistan. They're in trouble, aren't they?
Yeah, but every World Cup that we've had since I can remember, Pakistan have started slowly and won it. You know, so it's early days.
Do you think they can win this?
No, I don't. But, you know, I've been proved wrong on loads of things. But the thing is, they've got a lot of work to do. Bottom line, you're selected, you players, you've got to do this, and you need good leadership.
Well, you've done a lot of coaching over the years, and this is the final question to you. You're in that Pakistan dressing room. There's obviously issues going on in that dressing room, you know, the Shaheen captaincy debacle, and then they brought Babar back. How do you lift that team in there and make them cohesive into one unit?
I would expect and hope that the senior players will do that. Come on, you know, get hold of this team. The coaches are peripheral. You know, the leaders, whoever they are, they might be big names. The team, under the leadership of the captain, decide the culture within that dressing room and how they play. And so they have got to work. Now, I've been around the blocks a long time, been in many, many dressing rooms, and you'll have your say, but ultimately, it's you players who decide how you go forward, you players. And there's no time for disruption. And if they keep changing and chopping of the captaincy and the players, that doesn't fit well. Players have to deal with it, but when you're picked and you're 11, get hold of the game and the scruff of the neck and go and do the business. You know, prove everybody, because the other thing that you've always got to get through, you're representing a nation.
This is proud not cricketing nation.
It's not a game of cricket where you're going out and having a bit of a do.
Yeah.
You're representing your country. Go out and do the business to the best of your ability. Forget the peripheral stuff, please.
And who else better to do it than against India, the arch rivals, on Sunday?
Saj, it's a tasty game.
For the neutrals. I'll be hiding behind the sofa.
I'll be watching that. I'll be seeing how they go. And I'll be looking, Pakistan in particular, we'll see some character. Give me some character.
Yeah.
Give me a bit of this. Come on, boys.
That's what's needed. The one and only David Bumble Lloyd with his interesting and always valuable views on cricket. Thanks, Bumble.
Pleasure, Saj.